Alright, let's get underway. I hope people will slowly join in, especially the ones from the NitroLeague season. Because we will be doing this as a bit of a weekly thing, hopefully as a podcast. Hopefully next week I will get a couple more people in, we can talk a bit more, because right now it's very little amounts of results, you know? I can go down here and it's just this. So, let's go. Let's get underway. Just in general, 2 wildcards already being used. ERN against Wii Sports, who has been picked up. Good on them to get picked up by Wii Sports. I don't know the York, but getting picked up, always nice. And always nice to see. Then on the other end, we have Burke and Los Hermanos Amugus. Which is also another one that has their match rescheduled to this week, hopefully. So those 2 will be covered hopefully next week when we do that time. When we do it at that time around. And right now we have the first one to talk about. And that's a big one. Sparks against Trick. This is a 4-1 victory for Sparks. I am probably not alone in this when I say that this was not what I expected. And not what should have happened when you looked at the season beforehand. But it did happen. We did see it happen. So let's look over it. I've seen this match actually. I was watching a big part of it, and to me what it felt like was just Trick did not look comfortable. They were like just what you expect from a solo queue team. That's how they were playing, while on the other end Sparks was playing quite well. They should do a drug test just to be safe. Fair. But nah, it's actually good. And honestly, Squixel in particular. I hope he watches this. I really hope Squixel watches this. Because, man, that guy was playing well. Really just putting it in front for his teammates. I mean, 5-minute overtime, the Trick won. Then a 1-0, 2-1 overtime, 3-1. You can see it was close. But if you rewatch this series, it wasn't that close at all for Trick. Trick just really could not get anything really flowing together. And I think that's quite saying when your goals are limited to, like, what was it? 6 goals in, like, 5 games? That is not good. Especially for a team consistent of Tox, Cryptos, and Sheila. That is a team that should be doing a lot better. Every performance they will win the whole thing. They won't win the whole thing. I don't see that as their next level. I don't see this as what they're gonna be used to. But I do see them ending up top 6 now. I don't have any reason to put Sparks outside of the top 6 right now. Next week, this week's match should be a clear indicator though for Sparks. Sweep this and you put yourself at the top 6 position in my eyes. If you can absolutely dominate Flyback, who we'll get to in a bit later, you have put yourself and secured yourself as a bit of a top 6 guarantee. On the other end, Trick. Trick has a hard match to play. Stealth 7 is not easy at all. We have seen them, but they didn't look that great, but that's something else. But Stealth 7 Trick is gonna be an important one. I think that is, in my eyes, the match of the week. Sparks against Stealth 7 against Trick. That is gonna be the match of the week. This should be the one that will say the most about what will be going on here. And let me actually grab my pen real quick. Epic pen. There we go. Because I'm going to need this one for a bit. For a couple of things that I want to write down in later on. But yeah, that is massive result from Sparks to get that early win. TOG against ERN is also hype. Also hype. But then the next one. Of course, Roar. Wii Sports. Already talked about that. It's one that's going to be played this week. Stealth 7 TOG. Now this one is a bit interesting to me. I had, of course, TOG, if you watched anything else from me, I have TOG quite high for this season. And they looked shaky to me. They did not look like a team that were going to be top 2. They looked like a team that was barely going to make top 6. They did not look comfortable at all to me. And it was really just Stealth 7 not even playing as great. Stealth 7 has a higher peak than what they played. But TOG just did not look good at all. Just not on fire, not clicking as well. That is something to be watch out for, though, in next week's, where they play a bit of an easier opponent. Actually, never mind. Yeah, a bit of an easier opponent, huh? Year end. But we'll talk about that a bit later. I think Stealth 7, like I said, gonna be important. Playing Trick to bounce back. Well, I'll talk a bit later about that matchup again. But Stealth 7 looked meh. And kind of looked as expected with this team of Jules, Tommy, and Stizzy. Did not expect much from them, and it's pretty much been delivered in that regard. But TOG, I expect a lot more from a team like this, and what I saw is a bit disappointing, to be honest. I have to be quite harsh here. It was a bit disappointing in this regard. Just not as good or as lethal as you would like to see it. Even though they've had tons of goals, still giving up those 2 games is just too much for a team that wants to fight for top 2. Then, moving on. TTWillhaben against KBM Chats. Again, I will say this though. For newer teams like Stealth 7, like TTWill, and like Flyback, this is an important week. And I think this is for TTWillhaben, if I'm being quite neutral, is a good result. KBM, I think, surprised many people. Probably everyone. To be 12 is this annoying. Hi, Danny. Now, TTW is an interesting team in this regard. Did fine. I think they got what we, or at least I should say we wanted. Got the win. I think the more interesting one to look at here is KBM. Because KBM looks a lot more dangerous than a lot of people would have given credit to. But, here comes the problem. Regal, or Regalito, is not going to be playing, if I'm correct, the rest of the season. They will have to get someone else subbing in. I hope Chrono and Green can convince him to play a couple more matches, because this is a team that can upset the top of the tables. If they get going together, this is a team that can easily upset one or two of the top 6 teams that we have expected. But they probably aren't. But in that regard as well, I will say though, Chrono is someone who will be looking for a good player. He won't just get a nobody, I think. I think he will try his absolute best to get a good third person in for that team. It just depends on what level we're gonna see. But getting someone better than Regalito is gonna be very hard to do. But it's still possible. Then, of course, TTWillhaben. I mean, Nico, Brycer, Mensu, and myself, of course. Expected results, 4-2. Mango said it probably perfectly. This is what you expect. A win, not as comfortable, especially not week 1. But a win is a win, and they take that. Good, I shall wait for my DMs from Chrono. Still not giving up yet, Danny. Then we move down just a bit further. Berg against LHE, or known as Los Hermanos Amogus. Of course, not played this week. We'll be playing this week. I am quite interested in this match. This is one of the matches I really wanted to see, because this will just tell the story for the entire season in my eyes. This will be an important matchup. Then we move down one more. All for one. Now this, the upset of the season. I can tell you this right now. If All for One does what they are supposed to be doing, this will be counted as the upset of the season. Of course, we can't call that out just yet. But Flyback did something no one would have given them credit for. No, not a single person said, oh yeah, Flyback has this. Flyback can win this. Everyone was like, yeah, All for One has this, done, dusted. I will say though, I did not watch this game. That is my one thing. I did not watch this game. From what I've heard, Flyback was not playing with the full roster, so MD, Fabso, Emo. I think Shraki was playing instead of MD for a big part for 4 games. After that, MD came in and on a worse PC or something. But in the end, that is no excuse. You need to win these games, and Flyback shown that they can win these types of games. Important for them. Very important, because this can be that difference between relegating, being bottom 2, bottom 4, or maybe surviving, getting that position, that 7th, 8th position to just survive barely. That is how huge this is for them. Now it just depends, can they keep that up? Well, for All for One, you have to bounce back right away, and you have such a tough opponent to do it against. Well, talking about that, let's get underway with week 2. We'll start with predictions as well. So in chat, feel free to predict your score lines as well. I always like to see that. But Los Hermanos against All for One. I don't see this going well for All for One. I think this is going to be a 4-1. I think this is going to be a 4-1 for Los Hermanos. Now, let me explain this. I know this is going to be looking quite scuffed a bit, but that's fine. So, for Los Hermanos is such a strong team. I mean, they have 2 of the champions of last season in their team right now. Added on to that, you have Creamy, who is a bit of... I would not even say it's so much of a downgrade on Neon. So, really, Los Hermanos, gonna be fun to look at. Really fun to look at. But this is gonna be an important matchup in my eyes. If, and this is the big if let's say All for One can win this, that is huge for them. Going from a loss like this against a win against one of the top teams, perfect. That's the way to come back. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it in front of me where I see them winning this. Then, moving down. Flyback Sparks. I mean, I am sorry, Flyback. I need to see more. I don't even see you winning a single game against this Sparks. This Sparks roster is looking like they want to go to LAN. They want to go to playoffs. I have faith they can. Let them go. I think this is going to be the match where they just put themselves up as, yep, we are here. We're here to play. We're going to playoffs. There's nothing you can do about it. And this is the way to set yourself apart from that. Going 2-0 and like 8-1 in week 2, after week 2, is huge and massive, and I just see that coming. Now, the hard one. 4-0. Right now, it's very hard to predict anything in favor of KBM. And not having a third confirmed, it's gonna be hard. But I want to do one thing in particular. And listen to me closely right now, okay? For everyone in chat and that will be rewatching this, listen to me closely in this. I predict this if they get a different third that I just don't know of. Then it's a 4-0 for Burke. It should be a 4-0 for Burke. But let's say Regalito plays another match. Let's say Regalito plays another match with this team, with KBM against with KBM. If Regalito plays, it's gonna be a 4-3 for Burke, but I think it's gonna go to game 7. Burke has their... I don't know if this match gets played before or not, but I think this is gonna be a bit of the upset potential match that I talked about. And I'm curious, am I gonna be flamed for this? Am I gonna be flamed by chat for this? Because this is quite a spicy pick. Oh, I love you both. Yeah, but this is... I have this going to game 7 if they play with Regalito. Of Regal. I want to know who they play with. Now calm down, Ringa and Chrono. You two are a bit... Then we move on. Wii Sports against TTWillhaben. I mean, I cannot predict this any other way than a 4-1. I'm gonna give Wii Sports 1. I can see them taking 2. Play rank A player. We go 4-2. Better I go, so B plus wins. I don't know who you have, Chrono. Chrono, I don't know who your third is. I told you. I have no idea who your third is. Announce it. Say it right now. Give it to us. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. From what I've seen, Div 1 channel, KBM is moving their game against Burke into week 3, and so is Sparks to Spyback. Okay. Well, that's... But, Mahi, we're predicting it as we have confirmed right now. Chrono, you fucking dumbass. I am still gonna predict it like this. I don't care. So, Team Orange Gaming against ERN. I have not seen it from Orange Gaming just yet, and I trust in ERN to be solid enough. Have fun. Bye, Chrono. Yeah. I don't see this coming from TOG. I don't see them upsetting ERN. Not with the way they looked against S11. I just can't see it. I don't predict it. It's just not happening this time around. Then we move down to the interesting one. Trick S11. Now this, in my eyes, is the match of the week. For one, hate playing against 2/3 of O2G. At least I did last season. Yes, but there's a difference. Right now, TOG is playing with Polar. Polar, from what I saw last week, is not integrated into that playstyle that they had with Creamy. That playstyle is not there. It looks messy, it looks unorganized, and it doesn't look the same way that they did last season with Creamy. Right now, this just looks like a bit of a messy team that it doesn't know what to do, doesn't have any idea behind it. They need organization. If they can get organized again and get some stuff going, yeah, I can see it be closer. But right now, I just don't see it happening. But, moving on. Trick, S11. The matchup of the week in my eyes. And the reason why is because both of them come from losses. Both of them come from annoying losses. With Sparks going 4-1 against Trick, it's gonna be hard for them. They need to bounce back. If you lose against S11, I generally could see it that Tox is like, nope, I don't want to play anymore for this season. I just don't find it fun if we just keep losing to teams like that. While on the other hand, S11, this is a bit of a deal breaker for you. If you lose this, you're gonna have a hard road ahead. Because after this one, you have Sparks. After that, you have ERN. After that, you have a matchup you can maybe win against TTWillhaben. That's 4 weeks in a row you're playing some of the top teams where you just have such a hard time to win. Do I see it happening against Trick? Do I see the upset potential? I do not. I see a 4-2 victory for Trick. This is how I see it for now. For week 2. But, like I said before, this is not just how week 2 finishes. Week 2 still has a couple of other matches. That being ERN against Wii Sport. And that being Berg against Los Hermanos Amogus. So, Ringa, you know you can play with Chrono. Chrono is seen as German. It's 2/3 of the German rule. Green and Chrono are seen as the DAC players. Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. They are fine to pick up whoever they want. He just doesn't want you. Ooh. Okay, but moving on. ERN and Wii Sports. I mean, sorry Wii Sports. It's a 4-0. It's gonna happen. You're not gonna win. It just doesn't. Yeah. Then, the other one. Berg against Los Hermanos. And this is the one I will have to say. If I see Los Hermanos winning here like that, I see them winning this one 4-2. I see this being a close one, though. I see this one being very, very close. This is how I see things for now. So, ERN against Wii Sports, the match that they haven't played yet, 4-0 for ERN. Done, dusted, get it out, simple. I don't think Wii Sports cares as much about this match. They want to, of course, play well, but there's nothing really. They know they're not going to pull an upset. It just isn't happening. League matches are indeed best of 7. Then, Berg against Los Hermanos. Berg is not an online team. Los Hermanos pretty much has 3 of the best online players I see. It's simple in that regard. So, that is my predictions for this. Now, I'm curious. Is there anyone here that would say, no, you're completely wrong on this prediction? If so, tell me now so we can talk about it. I want to hear opinions of people. Am I wrong about one of these predictions? Like, completely, just absolutely bad. I would not know, Ringa. I have no idea. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. But that's a conversation for another time, I think. Probably not for prediction time. But I don't see anyone here disagreeing with me. That means I am perfect. I know exactly what will be going on. In my opinion, it's a complete coin flip. Okay, Bahi sees it as TOG against ERN being quite close. Closer than I maybe would have put it. 100% agree with Spooks here. Of course, Ringa. Man knows him. Man of culture. Then, I'm gonna remove these ones real quick. Yeah. Hi, Sky. How you doing? Maybe 2-4. Yeah. I can see that happening. I said it as well. Wait, who is that? Oh, Merlin. I said as well, Merlin, like, I can see this being 2-4. Who's on Wii Sports? Let me do it like this. Whoa. Wii Sports is Trickshot, Histy, Merlin. Also known as Merlin. Oh, it. Hello, I'm not doing that good. Easter break is boring as fuck. I feel that, buddy. I'm alright. We're just going over some predictions. Also, it's a rough one, which has nothing to lose and can only surprise people. Also, they seem to have taken their preparation insanely serious. My reasoning for that, Bahi, is that they're gonna be nervous. Your point of, oh, they have nothing to lose is, in my opinion, wrong. In KBM, there's nothing to lose. KBM comes in here, nothing to lose. But Wii Sports is a team. They want to stick together. They want to grind this out. They want to do good. They want to show their results. For them, this is week 1. If they played against ERN last week, it would have been a lot closer, in my opinion. Because then they would have had gone away with those things. They would have known what to do and what went completely wrong. In this regard, you come into TTWillhaben. I don't even know if they played TTWillhaben before ERN or after. That is the important part. I need to turn this down. I have this way too loud. I apologize for anyone who has turned deaf. Okay, that makes it even worse, Bahi. In my opinion, that makes it even worse. Because then you first have ERN, so you're first gonna get smacked. No shade at all towards you, Merlin. It just is gonna happen. You're gonna get smacked by ERN. And then after that, after a break, you have to do TTWillhaben, one of your important matches. That is so annoying to play. I feel sorry for you guys. That is really annoying to play like that. But yeah, I think, like I said to you guys as well, I don't think Wii Sports has nothing to lose. I think this is a team that wants to win, wants to prove themselves. They have probably more pressure on them than TTWillhaben has on themselves. I genuinely feel like Wii Sports has more pressure on themselves than TTWillhaben. That is just how I look at things right now. Because you cannot, like, Merlin, you can say it right now and be a bit honest here. You guys want to survive, right? You guys have an aim of becoming, like, at least 8th, right? That should be your aim. Like, this should be your aim, right? At least 8th, in my eyes. And in my opinion, your aim should be top 6. The second you don't aim for LAN, you should quit right now. So I guess they're both nervous. Would say for 3. Ringa, that's a very fair statement. The reason I have TTWillhaben winning it is due to them playing last week. TTWillhaben winning and playing last week against KBM is such a massive, like, mentality boost coming into things. Like, you know you won. You know you can win. You've done it on stream already. It's such a massive mentality boost compared to Wii Sports, who now has to come in after a match against ERN, then a break, then again playing. That is hard to do. Respect to you guys, but it's gonna be a hard week. And that's pretty much